So I'm here with my favorite wrestlers in the world.
Oh, yeah.
And Zack Manko, head of studio at MegaCat.
Hello.
San Diego Comic-Con 2023, where the executive wrestling producer, Mr. Jeff Jarrett himself, WrestleQuest wouldn't exist without him. Zack, I thought it might be appropriate before we go through each legendary talent for you to give a little bit of a preview of how the narrative-driven wrestling is exposed in WrestleQuest with these characters.
Yeah, so each of our legendary wrestlers has their very own side quest.
I'm gonna interrupt.
Sure.
Let's do Jeff first. We'll go into Sarge, we'll go into Jake.
Sounds good. Yeah. So each wrestler has their very own side quest, right? And Jeff, being a third-generation promoter, his quest is about him coming to help this new promotion out, right? And it's going to end the match with a guitar shot. Only thing is, someone has stolen the guitar, so you're helping him track down the culprit. Sarge, with his military background, is giving a farewell speech at a military-themed wrestling league. So you show up and you actually help him retrieve his itty-bitty-ditty bag. And Jake the Snake, being one of the all-time greatest heels, you actually will end up facing him in the ring on your way to uncover the lost video game, Jake the Snake.
Actually, my favorite piece of the Jake the Snake content, have you guys ever played the arcade game Snake? Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
You play around? So we made the world's first Jake the Snake, right? So it's a Jake the Snake themed Snake arcade cabinet, which
wow.
I feel like everybody really needs.
How about that?
So Sarge,
I know. They always ask about.
how many pounds of dumbbells fit in an itty bitty ditty bag?
One. One with nothing left over.
Now we're talking.
1 dumbbell or 1 pound. Yeah. Put it on our head. Dumbbell.
So my favorite part of Comic-Con so far was just listening to these guys just talk.
Yeah.
You know, it's just so much fun hearing these little behind-the-scene clips. You guys are just talking about some of your favorite memories, or long showers, and
Oh, no, we're not. We were telling an Iron Mike, let's get all the cards on the table here. You've thrown us under the bus here.
in front of the bus.
Yeah.
You already live started up said that we were 3 of your favorite
Oh
wrestlers.
my god! But
Nobody
my 3
believes it.
favorite.
I don't buy
It's
that.
already. Actually, we just did 2 interviews today, and you read it. This time I did lie. They said, "Who are your 3 favorites?" Jeff Jarrett 3 times. I said that at 10 different interviews.
Okay.
They said, "Zach, what's your favorite dream match? Pick one."
Jeff Jarrett versus Jeff Jarrett.
Oh, you guys, get out of here.
It's the truth. We have it on camera.
Video
Figure
evidence.
for what you're paying me, I must be one of your favorites.
That is true. And actually, Sarge has second most screen time in the game.
Yeah.
With talent, and then Jake.
Wait a minute. I'm the executive producer, and he's got the second most screen time. I know everybody else is tied for first.
Standard attention, man.
You know-
Wait in line.
Yeah, throughout WrestleQuest development, can you explain Jeff's role?
Oh, Jeff was the executive wrestle producer. So he
Yeah.
made sure that everything wrestling in the game was authentic and genuine. So, every sprite had to have that Double J signature before it made its way into the game.
How many guitar shots have you taken personally?
In my dreams, many, because I relive that day almost every night with tears.
So for Sarge and Jake's sake, so Jeff came to Pittsburgh to the office, filmed a couple pieces of content, and he really taught Zack a hard lesson with a guitar.
Oh, wow.
And Zack was insistent that he wears glasses. and everyone said, these guitars hurt.
Yeah.
These guitars are not going to be quick and easy. Are you sure? And he goes, I would love to take this guitar shot. That guitar came down so quick and so heavy. Zack's never been the same.
Yeah.
Long-term memory loss.
Yeah.
But I will say this. I like your new glasses.
Did you sign a release by any chance?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Sarge. Oh, now trying to get me thrown under the bus.
Sorry.
So Sarge and Jake, do you guys remember how you first met? Do you remember anything about this first couple meetings, given how many you've had?
I remember meeting Jake in Louisiana, Houma, or
Houma, Louisiana. I was referee.
Right.
I love it. That's awesome.
And he was the bad guy.
I was the
That's
villain.
no surprise.
And
As Sgt Slaughter?
yeah.
Bob Slaughter. Big Bob Slaughter.
Okay.
And they were working a top wrist lock. Of course, he's pulling the hair. And I catch him. So then they go back to the top wrist lock. And the guy takes him over.
Yeah.
He gets up saying, "Hey, he pulled my hair." He didn't pull my hair. No, he didn't. How'd he do it then? And he told me, he says, "Just come here." And I walked over to him. He goes, "Now fall down." When I fell down, he took the bump on the top of me. The people just howled.
I bet.
Man, did not get lucky that night.
I was getting a big kick out of you guys having banter with each other, and there were so many fans lined up for your autographs today.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't believe it. We had a massive wraparound for the autographs you guys had today.
Well, they said Jarrett was just going to be, one here today. They brought us in to bring the crowd.
All kidding aside, San Diego Comic-Con is just like the game. It's a melting pot of
It is.
gaming fans, wrestling fans. In a lot of ways, they're one and the same, just as it's written in WrestleQuest. A love letter, if you will, right?
Yeah.
Is that the right terminology?
Absolutely. I mean, we're big video game fans, big wrestling fans, and all of that. We wear that heart on our sleeve in the game, in the writing, in the world we made, in the stories we tell. Everything it is this big love letter to these guys and to the sport.
So when we first started mapping out the content, we knew we had to have Andre the Giant, right? And we were talking to Andre's daughter. She was consistent bringing up Sarge. And I said, Sarge's been on the list. We just have to get through these first couple pieces of paperwork to make sure that we can make the content all come together. And I just can't believe how often we would run into wrestling talent that we'd sign, bring into WrestleQuest, and they would bring up the three of you folks. It's like you guys must have been to a million of these events too. And I'm sure you've earned your stripes. One of the major story components of WrestleQuest is going through the series of independent wrestling circuits to earn your stripes, to get found, to kind of put those reps in and build a fan base. And I think that might be something that's worth just at least lightly touching on at Comic-Con.
Well, you know what? These guys were. I joke with him all the time about I grew up watching you, but
Yeah.
I was a '90s guy, so to speak. They were the golden age
No doubt.
in the '80s, and just how the characters were evolved.
It's incredible.
They're the most iconic names. You touched on Andre. That's immediately what I started thinking about Andre and Macho Man. But when you think of Sarge and Jake and that generation, it's really, to me, it's when wrestling, and I can use so many descriptors, exploded, came on the national scene and all that, but it's so ingrained in pop culture, and this is what the Comic-Con is. It is a pop culture event.
right.
And so when you have the iconic names that are ingrained in pop culture in a couple of years ago, this thing was shut down for
No doubt.
and now look at it, sold out, right?
Yeah, and the fans are rabid for it.
And the buzz around the Skybound Games booth and WrestleQuest, it makes all of us very happy.
Well, what I enjoy about the game is how you guys put the game into where I watched it on my father's.
That's right.
When I was 3 years old, and I watched how they told the story. I don't know what it's like these days. I'm not in the ring, but we had fun when we were in the ring, and everything was ad-lib. Everything that we did, you never knew what was going to happen, and that's what made it so unique.
Yeah.
And you have taken and put the game into my eyes when I was a young boy watching professional wrestling. And what I loved about professional wrestling was those characters.
No doubt.
And how each character was different. I created my character, Sgt Slaughter. Jake created his character. Jeff created. Nobody created those characters for it. Now they're creating the character. They're trying to put somebody in it to act it out, but it doesn't always work that way. But talk about Andre. When I first wrestled Andre, Mr. McMahon Sr. was the boss. And Andre came into the locker room, and I thought he was mad at me. And he came over to me, and he grabbed Mr. McMahon Sr. by the collar and said, "I want to be married to him." And I didn't know what that meant. And I soon found out that I wrestled him every night.
Lucky.
Tried to put a Cobra clutch on Andre.
I wrestled him for 6 months every night.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
What a treat.
So you guys got married too then, huh?
Yeah.
What was the selection process, do you think, to drive Andre's decision? When he decides he wants to live with Sarge for a while, or he wants to live with Jake for 6 months, is it because of the chemistry?
Yes.
Yeah. I did a lot of flying for him, you know.
I bet.
He enjoyed that. He didn't have to work too hard. I did all the work.
That's what I was going to say. Look, I've never been in the ring with Andre, but I've been around the business a long time. My gut tells me that Andre liked to be married to somebody, and this happens in real life in marriages, where one person does all the work, right? These guys did all the work. But no, I mean, in a lot of ways, that was, everybody knew their role. That's what the best thing is, you know, playing the role, pardon the pun, but the Japanese role-playing game. There's 12 playable characters.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if these guys how in depth, but Machacho Man and just it's so authentic, if you will, of guys that get into our business. And you know, the first time out of the gate, they may not, you know, Randy Savage was not the Macho Man from day one. It finally, you know, it came out of it. A guy like Andre the Giant was always Andre, but over the years, you know, he had his career in Japan. He had his career for, you know, the WrestleMania generation. But he had a crazy kind of career. The first time I saw him, I was like 8 or 9 years old, and he came to Nashville, Tennessee, and, you know, raised ticket prices, and you couldn't get a seat, and they just wanted to come see Andre the Giant, the attraction, because he was just to be in the building of this guy. So that's another thing about the game, the 12 characters. And how many licensed guys do you guys have? 20?
Over 30.
Over 30.
And one of the things that made WrestleQuest so important to us, we grew up worshiping wrestling. We loved it. And the way we use characters and the legends in the game, we never play as Sarge or Jeff or Jake. There are cities built in their homage that are there because they built wrestling. They created the industry. So when you go to these cities and there's a Statue of Liberty style statue of wrestlers, and they're saying, should I be a heel? Should I be a face, Jake? How do I proceed? And that's something that we wanted to bring to life in a big way, because that's exactly what you do in your industry. You've inspired people to follow in your footsteps.
Well, you picked the right person to be your producer. Executive producer?
Exactly. Put executive in front of that, Sarge.
I always have when I ever watched you.
Oh, yeah.
I used to tell Jeff when we took me to the locker room or into the arena, I'd say, just put your name on the marquee and it's sold out.
Wrestlers don't lie either, right?
No, for sure.
No tall tales.
Yeah. You know, Zach, I know you have a ton of questions. I know we're running out of time. If you have one question for Jake and Sarge, what would it be?
Whose gimmick's better? What do you think?
Well, we both have a snake kind of in our
That's true.
repertoire.
That's
Snake
true.
synergies.
He's got the snake and I've got the cobra clutch.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, we never got to get
tag
together
right.
when we became.
I've got a question.
In the sequel, we can have the snake off.
Oh my
No,
gosh.
I got a
Snake
question for
versus
this
snake.
We
guy.
know he's got a snake.
Hey, damn it. I got a question for you guys. And you can either answer it for yourself or for either one. I think I know what you enjoy the most, but did you draw more money as a heel or a babyface?
Oh, as
as
a
a heel.
villain. As a villain.
Jake?
Is that right?
He's a heel. I enjoyed it more too.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Oh man.
It was
But
easier
you
to tell
both,
the story.
but you both guys had pretty big babyface runs there.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like big. See,
Yeah.
when I look at them, like today when I was late, but anyway, when I came up and I spotted those two guys in there, in my mind I immediately go
The
to
heels.
no, I'm a heel, but I always think of their big babyface runs immediately.
Is that right?
Yeah, but then when I start thinking about it, I know the backstory. They're territory guy. I mean, just all the backstory. But I immediately, it registers. That's the the protagonist, if you will.
I had two runs in it. When I won against the Iron Sheik, declared war on him. And then they brought me back when I was on a G.I. Joe. And
yeah.
Vince McMahon came up with the idea of making me a Iraqi sympathizer. So I had two of the big turns, in my career right there. I was the ultimate hero, and then I came back as the ultimate villain.
Yeah.
It was
That's awesome, yeah.
But it was fun to do because, make people hate you so much that they stab you 4 times.
Oh my gosh.
Want to, kill you and your family. And,
Thank you guys. Appreciate you joining us. We're out of time. Hopefully you can come down, play some WrestleQuest. Comes out August 8th.
August 8th. 8/8. 23.
Get it. That's an order.